Every morning, I would wake up at 6 a.m. with bloodshot eyes and a sore, aching body. I would drag myself under freezing cold water just to wake up. Following my shower, I would visualize, journal, eat breakfast, and make my lunch before leaving for school. Class ran from 9 to 3, and directly at the bell, I would rush to my car to begin my hour-and-a-half journey to soccer practice in Vaughan. I live in Pickering. Soccer practice ran every night for 2 hours, and I would typically get home at about 8 p.m. The remainder of my night from 8 until 12 would be spent doing homework until routinely falling asleep with my laptop by my side. You see, that was a day in the life of high school Sam. For 1,424 days, I repeated that routine. 4 years, I sacrificed everything to pursue my dream of playing professional soccer. And every day, every minute I spent practicing and playing. But at the age of 17, everything changed. It was mid-November, 1 week before the biggest tournament in my life, and I was playing in a friendly match with my team. Now, I remember this game as if it happened yesterday. It was just before halftime, and I had just went shoulder to shoulder with this 250-pound beast. And after our initial contact, I caught myself. But real quickly, I realized that something was off with my left knee. And for the next 5 minutes, I ran around with clicking and grinding in my upper left calf before deciding that it was in my best interest to get off the field. And as I walked over the line, I immediately knew something was terribly wrong. I could feel it in my gut, in my heart. My head was pounding, and I burst into tears because I knew something terrible just happened. You see, that night, I cried myself to sleep. Fast forward 1 month, I got the results from my MRI, and it turned out that I had torn the meniscus in my left knee. I felt defeated, mentally and physically, because I just missed the opportunity I had been training for so emphatically. That dream to see my jersey on my bedroom wall, to see my name on the back of a t-shirt, taken away from me like that. That's all I ever wanted. And I tried so hard to keep going, but that one injury would not stop me. Because you see, I wanted this dream so badly, and so I got the surgery done, and I got back onto the field. And then the daily grind resumed. Waking up at 6 a.m., bloodshot eyes, forcing myself to stay awake in school so I can get some good grades, only to rush to my car at the bell so I can make it to Vaughan and practice for 2 to 3 hours every night. To come back from Vaughan to Pickering, to go to bed at about 12 a.m., and then repeat that process over and over for a whole 4 more months. And that's when things started to look great. I was getting contacted by Division I universities. I flew out to Memphis. I visited Tennessee. It was amazing. I felt on top of the world. Until I found myself in another match, in another hard tackle. It took me right back to square one. I tore the meniscus in my left knee a second time. This time I broke down, uncontrollably crying in front of my family, friends, and teammates. I did not understand why life seemed to be beating me to the ground for no reason. It wasn't over. I then had a second surgery. And I even took a 5th year of high school, grade 13, like some of you old folks know of, to try and keep my dream alive. And just when I thought, things could not get any worse, it actually happened again, a third time, this time in my other knee, which forced me to quit and give up the sport I loved. It was at that point in my life that I had realized that I had so deeply attached my personal identity and self-worth to the sport I played. I mean, it was so bad that my email address was soccersam99. Like, soccer was all I knew, and I feared that I would be worth nothing without it in my life. That is when the most amazing thing happened, and I'll never forget this. Because at that moment, while all this was going on, I met the most inspiring person, the most pivotal person in my life, who helped me take my passion for soccer and funnel it down another avenue. Funny enough, and as cliche as it sounds, it was my grade 12 world issues teacher. We can all relate to these stories. I think someone talked about it tonight, having a very inspiring teacher. Well, I will never forget this teacher, and it's going to sound a little odd when I tell you this story, but I need you to step into my shoes for a minute and realize where I was at that point in my life. 17 years old, I've been chasing this dream to play professional soccer since I was 4, and it just got taken away from me, robbed. My schedule opened up wide. No practice, no games, no training, nothing. And then this teacher walks into my life and profoundly changes my path. It was April 2017. I was sitting in his world issues class. And on this day in class, he was not going over any ordinary topic. He was speaking about figures in history who have massively impacted this world. People we've all heard before, right? Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, Gloria Steinem, Lewis Tappan, Gandhi, Solomon Northup, William Wilberforce, Bill Drayton. The list went on and on. And my teacher took these figures and he broke down their lives, trying to prove to us that if we embodied this one specific trait they all shared, then we too could massively change this world. And so what we found was that there was many distinct traits that made them each different and unique. But there was this one thing common among them all. They all took small, consistent actions towards the attainment of their dreams and goals. You see, it was that day in class that my teacher literally proved to me and everyone else in the classroom that we could make a massive change in the world if we chose to commit to a small, consistent action. You see, I left class that day with a burning desire within me to try and make a change within my community. But at the age of 17, I had absolutely no idea how I was going to do this. I mean, how am I going to change the world? 14 days after that class, I was walking home from school, and the answer to that question literally hit me. I was walking home, as cliche as it sounds again, a coffee cup blew by my feet. And at that moment, on an impulse decision, I decided to pick it up. Pick up the litter, and I became more conscious of all this garbage that was around me while walking home every day after school. I decided to put my teacher's theory to the ultimate test. And my small, consistent action was picking up litter while walking home from school. Little did I know that my teacher's theory was correct, and that small, consistent action would grow into a citywide initiative called Pick Waste, where we meet up to clean up for 1 hour once a week. It began on July 1st, 2017, when me and my buddies went to a beach and cleaned up along the shore. And to date, we have completed over 60 cleanups, filled over 750 bags of litter, picked up over 6,500 cigarette butts, and I've personally spoken in front of over 35 crowds to spread this message and to share this wisdom of my grade 12 world issues teacher. Now, please do not get me wrong. The purpose of this speech is not to tell you to go pick up some rubbish outside when you're walking home in the parking lot. It's a lot bigger. Because like my teacher taught me, those figures in history, they're not anomalies. They're just like you and I. You see, they're human beings who decided to commit to a small, consistent action, and it allowed them to massively change this world. My teacher told me to view the world with a smile, knowing that if there is something I don't like about it, I have the personal power to change that. And if someone ever asked me, Sam, how do you plan on changing the world? I would tell you, one small, consistent action at a time. Thank you.